Welcome to the Courage to Be podcast. I am your host, Tanya Vasallo. This week, something hit me hard as a mom. I realized how much my daughter might be holding in that she's not saying out loud. And it's such an interesting thought because you think as adults and we're the parents, getting all these things ready for the move and that our kids will just tag along and do what we ask them to, help when we're needing the help, hold space for us with all the pressure we're going through, make it easy on us, like that was a little bit my mindset behind this. And I'm starting to realize that Isla is holding on to so much more than she shows, my 12-year-old. And we've moved 13 different times, or 13 or 14. I think this is going to be our 14th or 15th time that we've moved homes in the time that Ben and I have been together, my husband and I have been together. But this is only her second time. We've also lived in 7 different cities, and she's never lived in a different city. She's gone to visit or vacation, but she's never left our hometown. And so I'm just realizing, because we've been clashing a lot, my nerves are just I'm so easily stressed right now with everything that I'm trying to hold, like I'm trying to do this international move. We have construction workers at home. We're on week 7 of finishing up this retaining wall. We had to fix things on the roof and all these other things, and holding space for my daughter, holding space for my husband too, so he has space. We're very good at supporting each other, but it's a lot that I'm trying to hold. I've been suppressing my grief, with my pets and other things that have been going on. You can listen to that episode regarding grief. And so I think that I've been forgetting my daughter, because I feel like she's been holding on to so much more. And in some of these explosions that we've had, and I don't tend to be that kind of person, of just exploding and arguments and stuff, but I can see her quiet emotional reaction versus our experience, and I'm expecting this 12-year-old to know how to navigate and how to transition the fact that she just finished elementary, she's going into middle school, she's dealing with puberty right now, pre-puberty. She's, having to say goodbye to her friends, to all the things that she knows here, that she's navigating her grief fine. And I haven't held any space for her right now. Like, I've been doing it all for myself and sending her to camps, like, okay, you have to go to this camp, so that we have time throughout the day to focus on all the things we have to do. So one of our explosions last week was like 2 days before her last camp that she was done with. She was very tired. She had just come back from traveling and being in Pennsylvania. I mean, she's just dragging sleep. And we exploded. And she's like, the only reason why I want to go to camp right now is to help you guys. But, no one's thinking of me. And it's been a rough summer. And I didn't want to spend my summer just, getting ready to move and having to go to camps. And, and some of the camps, she's like, I don't like that counselor or that kid and stuff. And so to me, my immediate reaction was like, just go to the camp and just deal with it, type of thing. And we have this added thing with her that she is a neurospicy kid. And what do I mean by neurospicy is neurodivergent, like she was diagnosed with sensory processing when she was 4. We've been working with an occupational therapist. She just recently got diagnosed with dyslexia. And despite the whole thing with labels, because that's a whole other conversation, what it's made me realize and what I'm learning through my daughter, and maybe I could do a whole episode on that, is that neurodivergent kids process information and emotions very differently than what traditional brains, how we process information. And so that's something that I've been learning with my daughter, because I assume that she processes information and emotions the same way I do, and she doesn't. And I just feel my heart goes out to her. Maybe one day she'll listen to this episode, but I'm still even trying to navigate, how do I guide her in this process? How do we make this transition as smooth as possible? How can I support her, with good night's sleep and stuff? And so it's definitely been challenging. And if you're going through any big life transition, whether that's a divorce, a separation, a death, grief of any sort, what I haven't realized, and I'm just noticing as I'm speaking out loud now in this episode, is just that she's going through her own grieving process. And I haven't been there for her. I've just assumed that you hold space for me. You should know better. And it doesn't go that way, So I invite you that if you have kids, to remind yourself that they process transitions differently. And if they're neurospicy kids, they process even differently than what we expect normal kids, and I put that in quotes, to just remember that kids process transitions differently. Their space and empathy also matters for them. So remind yourself, if you're going through something big, maybe it's not even something big. It could just be a move within your own town. It could be their transition from elementary to middle school, or from middle school to high school, or from high school to college, like that we want to be able to hold that space for them, So it's an invitation for you to think about, what conversation might your child be waiting for right now? And think about that for you, like, what are they looking for? What kind of support are they needing? And are they grieving without even knowing that they're grieving too? Until our next episode, remember to always live a life choosing courage over comfort, and I'll talk to you soon. If you loved today's episode, it would mean so much if you rate and review The Courage to Be on Apple Podcasts. Not only does it help the show to grow, but it also gets you in the running for something amazing. Every month, I draw one lucky winner to receive a complimentary 7-night, 8-day vacation. You'll get to pick from over 3,000 beautiful resorts worldwide. You just cover the taxes and fees like you would with a travel rewards. Airfare is not included. And if you want to double your chances, along with your Apple Podcast review, leave a couple of comments on YouTube. That counts as a second entry. Just send your screenshots to help.thecouragetobe@gmail.com, and you'll find the email in the show notes too. It only takes a moment, and who knows, your next adventure might be closer than you think. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on our next episode of the Courage to Be podcast.